Hi, welcome to the Caucus for Women in Statistics 50th Anniversary Presidential Interview Series. We're celebrating our 50th anniversary in 2021, and to celebrate, we're interviewing our past presidents. This interview is of Sandra McKenzie, our 1987 president. She will be interviewed by Rochelle Furr.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm very glad to be here today with Dr. Sandra McKenzie, who was the president of Caucus for Women in Statistics, or CWS, in 1987. This interview is part of the video history project of CWS to celebrate the organization's 50th anniversary. So very welcome, Sandra. Thanks to be here today. So to start, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you very much, Rochelle, and thank you for conferring an honorary doctorate on me. My highest degree is a master's in business statistics, and that is an anomaly among a lot of the Caucus for Women in Statistics members, but there are many of us also who are master level. I was a statistician at the Census Bureau for 10 years before relocating to Colorado. And I was in what's now called database analytics for many years. And then I transitioned into a second career of teaching at the secondary math level. And I still tutor AP Stat and elementary statistics for college students. And I'm honored to be part of this project.
Okay, thank you. For this interview, we are going to put together a history video. So for the first group of the questions, I'm going to ask you about your experience at time as the president. So you were president in 1987. So that must be a very different time from now. So when you were the CWS president, what was the most pressing issues for the CWS?
As I remember, it was getting a steady stream of money for the Gertrude Cox Scholarship. It had meaning for female statisticians and also to continue to highlight female statisticians within the American Statistical Association. That's what I remember working on the most.
Okay, so are there any results, leading from that kind of activities?
Yes, we were able to co-sponsor the Gertrude Cox Scholarship Run with the Council of Chapters, who had also come up with the same idea as a fundraiser, but they agreed to let it fund the Gertrude Cox Scholarship, and it went on for many years.
Oh, okay. So, that's a very meaningful effort.
I hope so.
Yeah. So also, when you were the CWS president, what was your favorite memory?
Oh, working remotely before it was working remotely, mostly by email and telephone with other people so that you could coordinate. And there was an effort. My predecessor, Jessica, I can't remember her last name. She's going to co-host the happy hour in April. I can't remember her last name. I blanked it out. And others were trying to create a system where we could have Jessica Utz, thank you, where we could have incoming officers learn the job as kind of an affiliate. So it wasn't just the incoming president working with the current president and the past president. We wanted to have some kind of rollover effect. And getting that going used my skills, my people skills, and I was really happy to see us reach that stage.
Yeah, that's interesting. So also, when you were the CWS president, who do you remember most in CWS? And
I
who,
s-
like in the CWS executive committee, like, do you remember, most? So there must be someone that who really impressed you, I guess.
well, Jessica Utz, for one, she was my predecessor as president of the caucus. And then Nancy Gordon, who was a president later, was very effective and active within the caucus. And we shared a commonality of working in the federal government.
Okay, so then like to describe how you feel about CWS, like in 2 words, what 2 words would you use?
I had to get out of my brain and think about feelings here. So I came up with enduring support. The caucus was always there, whether you were very active or not. And it is a source of support that I found I needed. I tried to recruit someone for the caucus who's a very, very well-known statistician who's female, and she didn't feel like she needed it. But for a lot of us, it's a very good, strong support system and a way to make connections.
Yeah, I think, I like those 2 words. The enduring support has been, the CWS doing for women in the past 15 years.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the questions, for the history project. We also want to ask you some other questions relating to your career path. So is that all right?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So then, for the questions relating to the career path, I could imagine like last century in 1970s and 80s, there are not that many women statisticians. So
This is true.
yeah. So how did you end up becoming a statistician?
As an undergraduate at the University of Colorado in Boulder, I took a business statistics class in the business school. I took many of the MBA core courses as a senior, and that convinced me that I liked the use of mathematics in statistics because I tell my students that statistic is telling a story with numbers, and I like that a lot. So that led me to the University of Wisconsin Business School, where they had a degree in business statistics. And there were 3 of us who were in the program at the same time. 2 of us were women.
Oh.
There was a lot of gender discrimination still in the mid-70s. And it even surfaced its ugly head on an interview I had in private industry as I was graduating with my master's. So I opted for the federal government, and I never regretted it. I had a very fascinating career at the Census Bureau and ended up working not only on the demographic side and the economic side, but also for the research division, where I finished my career at the Census Bureau. Then when I moved back, I relocated to Colorado. I was in what's now called database analytics before it was even called that. And it was kind of finding your way. You really just did it by the seat of your pants. And then in about 2001, I changed careers and became certified as a secondary math teacher, and I loved it. I just loved working with, get this, middle schoolers. I never thought that would be my calling, but it ended up being where I was comfortable and where I excelled. So I'm very happy. And I retired from there several years ago and keep my hand in by tutoring, but I've got other things that occupy my time.
Okay. So were any of your students, become statisticians later?
Not that I know of. Several have pursued mathematics, but I'm not sure that there are any that have gone into statistics per se.
But they are pretty related fields. So I think you must instill some interest for them, like in math, in numbers, try to teach them to telling stories in numbers.
Right. And with this emphasis on STEM, it was nice for girls to see a female who loved mathematics.
Right. Yeah, so that's a very good role model. And also, compared to like more than 30 years ago, the challenges that women's statistics face would be different. So what challenges do you think female statisticians, face today? How they're different from 30 years ago?
Oh, there's still something that plagues us, and that's equal pay for equal work. I think that still plagues women in all careers. The thing that I see as both a challenge and an opportunity is, as a female statistician, finding work in a field that is relevant to something society respects, like health statistics and environmental statistics. It's great to get your creds on another job, but I really hope that today's young statisticians seek the challenge to find work in a field that benefits humanity.
Yes. And there are anything you would like to share, like anything else you would like to share about your career development?
I don't think there's anything else to add, except don't be afraid to retool and do something different. I mean, that's something that all of today's entrants into the workforce are used to, is changing frequently, as opposed to when I was going to school and first working. But I think the best thing is to follow what makes you happy, because it's not worth spending 40 hours a week doing something you don't like.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's very true. I think for the younger generation, they need to be up for changes, for challenges. Like even for our students nowadays, they coming from different backgrounds, so they're getting into statistics.
I was also fortunate to have a female statistician from Statistics Canada, who was working with statistics research for a year, and she became a mentor. And it's not always a gentle process to hear from your mentor, but it was always good sound advice.
Yeah, I agree. Mentoring is very important. I think luckily, at this stage, there should be many women statisticians could work as mentor to mentor the younger generation.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Okay, so I'll definitely keep you in mind.
Okay.
Okay, so thanks very much.
Well, it was a pleasure talking with you.
Yeah.
And congratulations to the caucus on their 50 years.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.